Hey folks, this is Brian. Hey, we just finished up playing RQG. I know I'm way out of schedule, but that's because I had three different trips that I ran this month, and they interfere with a couple of games, or at least one anyway. And so my players really wanted to play, and we figured, well, hey, one of our players was supposed to have tonight off, but ended up getting called into work. But otherwise, the rest of us could get together. So we figured, well, let's try and do a weeknight game, which we did. Um, and one of my players was late getting to the show because the train was late. But he eventually jumped in. So the party last time left off after having killed the zombie giant python and the shaman priest and wounding the spirit, the serpent spirit. And so there's discussion. What do we do next? What do we do now? And in the process of determining, had the spirit actually left, or was it still here somewhere? The shaman was using second sight, and okay, no, she is gone. But happened to notice that David had a passive possession. No, active. They have these different terms now, anyway. So they had there's a passive. He was being passively possessed by a spirit, and so he started looking around at everybody else and found out that Arestra was as well. So they start, discussing things. If you go, hey, best thing we should try to do is maybe try and get rid of these possessing spirits, and because they do, metagaming, they know it's affecting things they can do and their roles and such. And so they start thinking, well, maybe we can get the Naiad who can discorporate and engage in spirit combat with these spirits and try and exorcise them out, right? And then maybe the shaman with his fetch, accessing through the fetch to do the same thing together against the spirit. Maybe they'll have a decent chance because both of these possessing spirits were powerful. They're more powerful than the shaman is, kind of thing. Which actually isn't that hard because his power is only like 10. But that's the plan, right? So they decide, okay, we're going to go up to the boat docks at the tower, at the edge of the buried fortress, and summon the Naiad, so she's right there, and then her and the shaman start, doing spirit combat. So they go up the stairs, and they run into those three zombies that were in the hallway, the tunnel they had run into before. They've been reanimated, and so the whole night was the fight with these three zombies, because zombies are tough to take down. And it does get a little monotonous, but something may happen, right? David ended up getting a slash and ended up losing consciousness and went down. And Subutai thought, oh shoot, he's going down. I need to go heal him. He's dying or something. But a couple of anecdotal type of things. Arrest was fighting a zombie who was on the ground, and they both fumbled. Arrest fumbled her attack, and the zombie fumbled his parry. No, the zombie fumbled his attack, and Arrest fumbled her parry. She did this fall down thing. It was kind of interesting because on the fumble chart, up near the top, you've got miss next parry, miss next attack and parry, miss next 1d3 attacks and parries, that kind of thing. And then around 50%, I think it is, there's fall down, lose this round's parry, and take 1d3 rounds to stand up. But it doesn't really elaborate on, are you able to attack and or parry during those 3 rounds you're getting up? It kind of implies that you can't. You're spending your time getting up, so you can't do either. But it also specifies specifically that you lose your parry this round. Does it mean all the parries? What if you get attacked 5 times? Not that it happens, but it's possible, right? So that kind of threw me off. We just kind of let it go. But yeah, I'm going to put it in, if you're standing up, you can't do anything. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, you should be able to defend yourself if you're standing up. I don't know. I'll think about it some more. We also discussed impale rules again, just briefly, because Daven got an impale with his rapier. Because it really shouldn't be that hard to pull a weapon out. So I'm thinking it should be your actual weapon skill instead of half your weapon skill. And then we're already thinking about if you miss that roll, it's more of a your strength versus their size, and getting it ripped out of your hand or not. So we'll play with those kinds of rules too. I've got little notes in my book about, okay, we need to make a judgment call on these. But there were a couple other fumbles. Subutai did the same thing where he fell down, lost the parry, and took 23 rounds to get up. But eventually they managed to hack all these zombies down again. That's pretty much where the session ended. There was some discussion. Oh, they did actually just spend the night. They went to the room with all the tables, spend the night, because it was getting late in the evening for them, world time. And then they're going to regenerate 1/3 of their magic points. And there was discussion. Okay, who's going to put how many magic points into crystals? We all regenerate magic points. We will have any left over to put into crystals, kind of thing. They're not going to. No, there's no way that's going to happen. They also spent 6 magic points and a rune point to heal David up because he got slashed in the leg. That put him down and unconscious, by the way. And then there was discussion, the next morning for them. Okay, how do we make sure these zombies don't get reanimated again? That kind of thing. So they decide they're going to feed them to the crocodiles. And they know there's some crocodiles in the center pool of the buried fortress here. So the idea is to drag them up out of the tower, and then go and dump them down for the gators to get to. But wait a minute, these guys have got some decent armor and stuff. So there's still some discussion on that side of things to go on. In fact, there's some special stuff about this armor and one of the shields and one of the weapons, maybe, that kind of stuff too. So see if they ever find out and notice. So they started just discussing among themselves about, okay, before we make any decisions, are there going to be any encounters on the way up there? And I say, yes, there's going to be an encounter on the way up there, because I already know some of this happening, that's going on. And while they didn't have any encounters, during the night, there's something that's going to happen before they get out of this place, and can actually do the whole spirit combat thing. Plus, one of the players that wasn't able to make it, his character is the shaman, and the other one had the shaman fetch connection, and the naiad together working to do this thing, and want him to, that's kind of his niche to do, so want him to play. So while it was, 9:30 to 3:11, 3 hours session, boiled down to just one set of combat, killing freaking zombies again and again and again. It is what it is. Happy gaming.